The CDC reports that in 2018 that 42.4% of U.S. adults were obese. The real problem is, this percentage is on the rise. It's no wonder that so many people are struggling to lose weight. Nearly half of adults have made some attempt to lose weight in the last 12 months. They want to know how to lose weight and keep the weight off. Even a shockingly high proportion of young people are overweight. Too many young people become fatter and fatter as they age. The CDC tells us of increasing obesity among our youth. Obesity is found among 13.9% of young people only 2 to 5 years of age, jumping to 18.4% among those 6 to 11 years old, and 20.6% among young people 12 to 19 years of age. This is an alarming trend in society today. And medical doctors seem unprepared to stop this trend. There are many ways that people try to lose weight. More and more people are trying one diet plan after another. They are joining gyms, trying to burn more fat. They are eating less. They are cutting back on junk foods, reducing their intake of sugar and sweets. They are changing their diets to eat more salads, fruits, and vegetables. They are cutting back on carbohydrates. And, yet, the obesity rates continue to climb. There is a move to consider obesity as a disease. This encourages people to see their medical doctor. The medical community typically treats disease with drugs and operations. Weight loss drugs typically cost from $90 to $700 for 90 doses. Obesity, or bariatric surgery, includes liposuction, gastric bypass, gastric sleeve, or lap band surgery. The number of these surgeries have increased by 10% in the last 10 years. The obesity coverage website indicates the typical cost of gastric bypass surgery is $23,000. Doctors, hospitals and pharmaceutical companies make a lot of money from people who are unable to lose weight. The market size of the entire weight loss industry is over $66 billion. So, you can imagine that there is a lot of pressure to make that market grow even more profitable. Yet, many people see their weight and fat return after ending their drug regimen, or after a weight loss surgery. That's because neither the drugs nor the surgery address the root cause of their weight gain. So, what does science show as a major cause of weight gain? And, what can someone do to reduce or eliminate this cause, and return, naturally, to a healthy weight? Before we get into causes of weight gain, let's discuss 2 hormones that are directly related to regulating body weight and fat storage. Hormones are signaling molecules that are carried by the circulatory system to target distant organs in order to regulate physiology and behavior. The 2 hormones of interest to us are leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is made by fat, or adipose, cells. Leptin primarily signals the hypothalamus, part of the brain, to inhibit hunger and stimulate satiety. That is, it tells the brain that you are not hungry and that you are full. Thus, it helps limit the intake of food. Ghrelin is a hormone produced by specialized cells in the gastrointestinal tract, especially the stomach. Ghrelin activates cells in the anterior pituitary gland and hypothalamic arcuate nucleus. Its effect is to increase appetite, slow down metabolism, and limit the body's ability to burn fat. It seems obvious that the goal should be to increase the production of leptin and decrease the production of ghrelin. But, for too many people, they are doing just the opposite. They are producing too little leptin and too much ghrelin. Why is this? As surprising, or even shocking, as this may seem, there is growing evidence that this unfavorable reversal in hunger hormones is caused by a lack of sleep. In the 1960s, adults in the United States reported sleeping between 8 and 8.9 hours a night. But, in 2008, the National Sleep Foundation reported an average adult sleep time of only 6.6 hours a night. The lowest sleep times were reported in employed individuals. Also, in the 1960s, the obesity rate was less than 14%. Today, the obesity rate is over 42%. What does science have to say about how these two trends are related? An article in the medical journal, Obesity, reviewed previous studies on weight gain and obesity. It came to startling conclusions. It revealed that studies of obesity in children found that short sleep duration is strongly, and consistently, associated with current and future obesity. For adults, 17 of 23 studies supported the association of short sleep duration and increased weight. In fact, all of the long-term studies found a positive association between short sleep duration and future weight gains. The 2008 National Sleep Foundation Sleep in America poll found that the average sleep time was only 6.7 hours on workdays, and 7.4 hours on non-work days. Nearly half of the respondents said they experienced non-refreshing sleep several nights per week. 42% indicated they awoke from sleep several times at night. And 26% indicated that they found falling asleep difficult several nights per week. It's clear that adequate, sound, sleep is not something most Americans experience. Next, a study reported in the Annals of Internal Medicine involved 12 healthy men, average age of 22. There were two test conditions: 10 hours in bed, or 4 hours in bed, for 2 consecutive nights. The overnight sessions were in a supervised clinical setting, and actual sleep was recorded each night. In this crossover study, 6 of the 12 men participated in the 10-hour bed rest, while the other 6 men stayed in bed only 4 hours. Then, after 6 weeks, the men reversed their bed rest conditions. What happened to their hunger-controlling hormone levels? After 4 hours in bed, participants had leptin levels that were 18% lower, and mean ghrelin levels that were 28% higher than when the participants spent 10 hours in bed. Consistent with this, the reported hunger scores after a short sleep increased by 24%, along with a 23% increase in appetite scores for all food categories. Even more interesting was that the appetite scores for sweet, salty, and starchy comfort foods increased by a whopping 35% to 45% after a short sleep night. So now, the next study reported in PLOS Medicine also studied the relationship between sleep duration and hormonal levels. This study involved all of the state employees in south-central Wisconsin. They were mailed surveys regarding their sleep habits, health, and demographics, starting in 1989, and then at 5-year intervals. A random sample of the respondents were recruited for an overnight stay in a clinical setting where more extensive testing was done. The study results showed a U-shaped relationship between average sleep time and BMI. The minimum BMI occurred at 7.7 hours of nightly sleep. For those sleeping less than 8 hours, the increase in BMI was proportional to the decreased sleep. In addition, hormonal levels were compared with sleep durations. The authors concluded that short sleep duration was associated with decreased leptin and increased ghrelin, changes that have also been observed in reaction to food restriction and weight loss, and are typically associated with increased appetite. These hormone alterations may contribute to the BMI increase that occurs with sleep curtailment. Many studies show that reduced sleep is highly correlated with weight gain and eventual obesity. This next study, in the American Journal of Epidemiology, looked at data from the Nurses' Health Study. This is the largest study of chronic disease risk factors in women. Out of over 68,000 women who responded to the survey in 1986, those who reported their sleep duration were followed for 16 years. The researchers found that over the study period, women sleeping 5 hours or less gained an average of 1.14 kilograms more than those women sleeping 7 hours. Those women whose average sleep time was 6 hours gained 0.71 kilograms more than those sleeping 7 hours. The authors of the study conclude. Of these women, 9,509 new cases of obesity were identified. The risk of developing obesity was elevated for those sleeping less than 7 hours per night. There was a 15% increase in risk for those sleeping 5 hours or less each night, and a 6% increase in those sleeping 6 hours. On the other hand, sleeping more than 7 hours was not associated with an increased risk. For anyone thinking about going on a diet, how long they sleep is going to determine whether their diet is effective or not. This next study in the journal, Obesity Facts, involved 123 overweight or obese men and women aged between 25 and 50. They had an average BMI of 33.2. They worked with a dietitian every 2 weeks and established menus with a 600 to 700 calories decrease in daily food intake. These diet plans lasted from 15 to 24 weeks. Body fat mass, sleep quality, and sleep duration were recorded at the start and end of the weight loss program. The study found that an increase in sleep duration was related to an increased loss of body fat. And also, better sleep quality was associated with increased fat loss. The authors of the study conclude. Specifically, an increase by 1 hour in sleep duration was associated with a decrease of 0.7 kilograms in fat mass, after adjustment for covariates. Our study suggests that sleeping habits can affect the success of a weight loss intervention, and should be taken into account when one decides to start a diet. This next study from the journal, Obesity, involved 245 women, average age of 45 years, who participated in the Jenny Craig weight loss program. 198 of these women were followed for 2 years with repeated body weight measurements. The participants' sleep duration and sleep quality were assessed at the start and after 6 months. Women who experience poor sleep quality, and women who slept less than 7 hours a night, were significantly less likely to lose weight. In addition, good sleep efficiency was a significant factor in long-term weight loss when evaluated at 18 months. The authors of the study conclude that overweight, or obese women, who enter a weight loss program, would have a higher chance of continued weight loss success, if their sleep quality is high, or sleep duration averages more than 7 hours per night. Okay. So what have we learned from these scientific studies? First, both sleep quality, and sleep duration, are important for both short-term, and long-term, weight loss. And, second, short sleep duration, and poor sleep quality, cause unwanted changes in hunger hormones. These sleep problems lower leptin levels, and increase ghrelin levels. This results in stronger hunger signals, and an increased appetite, especially for fattening, comfort foods. Overall, if someone does not get good quality sleep, for at least 7 hours a night, they have a major blockage in their attempts to manage their weight. This will frustrate and defeat any exercise program, attempts at dieting, and all the good intentions about eating healthy foods. So, what can someone do to maximize their chances of achieving a healthy weight? I have a recommendation that has proven its effectiveness. Because of the stress of modern life, most people probably do not experience the deep, restful sleep that keeps their hunger hormones in check. The majority of people may need some help to successfully fall asleep rapidly, sleep soundly throughout the night, and, so, experience that restful, rejuvenating sleep that refreshes, day after day. We have designed a short quiz to help people determine if they could benefit from a herbal supplement to improve the quality of their sleep. Click the link to take the quiz. Okay. Still here? Here is one last study for you to consider. This last study puts everything together. This study, from the journal Sleep, examined the effects of sleep reduction on body weight, body composition and metabolic variables in people who were on a calorie-restricted diet. The study lasted 8 weeks. All 36 participants were from 35 to 55 years of age, and all were overweight or obese. Typically, they slept for 6.5 to 8 hours, including naps. Each participant restricted their calories to 95% of their measured resting metabolic rate. All participants wore an actigraphic monitor throughout the intervention in order to monitor their sleep and awake status. As part of the experiment, 21 of the 36 participants also restricted their sleep times by about 1 hour each night for 5 nights per week. On the other 2 nights per week, they could sleep as long as they wanted. This looked a lot like sleep patterns for typical workers. Both groups lost similar amounts of body weight, which was a combination of lean body mass, or muscle, and fat mass. But, surprisingly, those who reduced their sleep times 5 nights a week, lost significantly less body fat, but lost more muscle, than the group who slept normally. Since muscle burns about 3 times more calories than fat does, losing muscle mass rapidly reduces your metabolism, and lowers your ability to burn fat. This result strongly opposes the goal of weight loss. The authors indicated that, we found that sleep restriction resulted in less loss of fat, but greater loss of lean mass among the total mass lost, despite similar weight loss between the two groups. They concluded that sleep reduction may adversely affect changes in body composition and that, catch-up sleep, may not completely reverse it. In addition, the study found lower leptin levels in the group that restricted their sleep. Recall that leptin helps inhibit hunger, so this also opposes the goal of weight loss. Overall, this study sums up many of the previous studies pretty well. Getting enough good quality sleep each night is critical for successful weight loss, and, now, it's time to stop wishing and hoping for a change. It's time to make a decision. Are you really serious about finally getting control of your weight? If so, you need to decide if you should be taking a supplement to help you achieve adequate, high-quality sleep. We have designed a quiz to help you decide if you need help sleeping. Click the link to take this short quiz now. Start making real progress toward your weight loss goals.